So we're talking about writing winning CVs, grabbing the recruiter's heart in 6 seconds. I put 6 seconds there because we've had a lot of, I don't believe in that theory, but I am very sure that you've had a lot of theory about the fact that HR only spend 6 seconds on a CV or 7 seconds on a CV. At Cowrywise, we don't do that. We spend time reviewing people's CV, but not all recruiters do that. Some even use ATS, we'll get there. But the whole idea is that at the end of this session, the objective is that you're able to write a captivating CV that even in the first 6 seconds, an HR will want to take a further look at the CV. Great. So are we ready? You can reply in the chat box. Okay, great. So the first thing is why CV, right? Why should you even write a CV? Why did Michael and Oye come up with the idea that we need to teach Cowrywise ambassadors and, if you're a guest joining us, how to write a CV and why you should have a CV? And a quick one, just to quickly differentiate between a CV and a resume, because I know that that's probably part of the questions you want to ask me. A CV is also a resume. The difference is the geographical, what's the English, designation. So if you are a UK country, a UK colonized country, you will likely hear the word CV. And then if you're a US country or a US affiliated country, you likely hear a resume. So we hear people talk about resume, they also mean CV. I just want to clarify that. I know you have heard a lot of theories, but this is the correct one as far as my professionalism is concerned. Yeah. So why a CV? The first reason is that, so a CV sells your best self to a recruiter. What does that mean? It means that you're an array of a lot of things. You can do a lot of things. Some you can do well, some you can't. Some you're average, some you're good. But you need a document that sells your best self to a recruiter. And that's really what a CV does. The second thing is that a CV positions you as the best candidate for the job. So there is an opening. It might be an internship, a student internship, an IT placement. It might not even be a job, right? It might be a fellowship, or these, I don't know if you guys apply for things like Young Professionals Boot Camp, exciting things like that, right? A CV is that document that positions you as the best candidate for that particular job. A CV also opens the door of interview to you. Now, for jobs or internships or fellowships, there is something that you have to send across that will make people want to invite you, either invite you physically or invite you virtually to say, oh, this person's document looks nice. Let's talk to the person. And that document is a CV, right? The fourth fact is that a CV is job specific. And I added this point deliberately because we are undergraduates and we might make these mistakes. So I'm going to use one thing you guys can do for me. Let me know your department. If you're not in economics and you're not in accounting and you're not in law, let me know your departments. I said that because I'm very familiar with how law works and how economics works and how accounting works. So if you're not in any of those departments, please drop a message in the chat. I will check the chat soon. Drop a message in the chat. Tell me your department. Tell me the kind of companies you are looking to apply to so that I'll be able to use that in my illustration. Thank you. So the companies, your department, the companies you are looking to apply to, and maybe the role you are looking to apply to in those companies. So if it's job specific, what do I mean? Say you're an economics student, 300 level of maybe University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Now, as an economics student, you have been probably told that you can work anywhere if you are studying courses like economics or English. So you're an economics student. Let me even use English. Yes, you're an English student of University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and you are applying to a media agency, for instance. The kind of CV you would write, maybe you're applying to a media agency as an editor, maybe an editor, a content creator, something like that. The kind of CV you would write for that particular role is totally different from the kind of CV you would write if you're applying to be a script writer or script editor at Kemi Adetiba's studios. Are we together? So it's very important that you come to the realization that a CV is job specific, and don't just have one CV and send it to all the companies that exist. Send it to OSBC and send it to Deloitte and KPMG. You should, even if it's an internship, Cowrywise has said, oh, Cowrywise is opening internship for this, so. Let it be specific to the things that Cowrywise do, to the department at Cowrywise, right? Deloitte has said, oh, internships for undergraduates, something like that. Write a CV that is specific to Deloitte, to the units that exist in Deloitte. This point is very important, guys. Lastly, don't copy and paste the content of CVs. And that's why I'm very sure that we all know this guy. What's his name? Okay, so I'm seeing very interesting stuff here. Interesting. Okay. So we all know this guy here, Peruzzi. There is this very funny meme where he said, me, I don't like trouble. Right? Don't copy and paste. When you copy and paste, HR used to see it. They see all these things, and then it's like you're calling for trouble. In fact, it's not good to submit a work CV, but it's better to submit a work CV than to go and copy one format online and just paste it and put your name. Please don't. Again, the summary of this slide will be that number one, your CV sells your best self to a recruiter. I kind of feel like you are boding that best self. So you are selling your best self. It positions you are the best candidate for the job. It opens the door of interview. And a CV is job specific. The first thing you should note is that write your name in caps and use the names that your email address is composed of. Now, I would explain this when I'm showing you the live CV. So don't let me explain it now. So I want to do it 2 times. Use official emails. Michael, we still saw one very funny email recently, email address, right? Please use official email address. This is 2021. Funke Wizzy, Charlie Angel, Ansom, something. Please let those emails be for shooting love shots. When you apply for jobs, use the combination of your names, use official emails address, right? Email addresses. And let the email address be a combination of any of your names. Put your country code in front of your phone number. Now, this is very important because sometimes you might be applying to multinationals. Sometimes you might be applying to even a Nigerian company, but your interviewer is probably not in Nigeria. So it's very important that you add your country code, to your number. I know that everybody here knows their country code, right? Right. I assume so. If you are not, yes, what did you say, Michael? Okay, we all
for the meantime.
Yes, for the meantime. Okay, people that have Canada goes, but people like us, we will love Nigeria. Nigeria will be better. Don't worry. All of you ready to Canada, you come back and beat us. But the whole idea is always ensure that you put your country code in front of your phone number. Indicate that you are available to relocate if this is like a lot of English. This is anti-Cowrywise because we use normal English. But yeah, permit me. If it's an application with outside your location, so just replace jurisdiction with location. What do I mean? You are in Enugu, you are in Zamfara, you are in Kano, for example, you are in Castina, you want to come and intern with Cowrywise in Lagos or KPMG in Lagos or IITA in Ibadan, for the guys that study agricultural related courses. Always indicate that you're available to relocate, right? It shows that even though you are staying somewhere very far, if the need be, you are able to relocate for the purpose of that job, right? That's the headings. Again, like I said, let me just send Michael the CV too. Okay, I think after this, Michael, I'll send you the CV so that you'll be the one to share it too.
All right, no problem.
The body. The first thing you should note is that you should always narrate your experiences in metrics and impact. Now, I really feel like we should just do the practical. Let me see.
Wait, I think we should do the practical.
Yeah. So let me send you the CV so that you will share. So I was talking about headings, right? I was talking about how your name should be written in block, how you should indicate that you're available to relocate. So this person, for example, stays in Quarters Road, Ile-Ife. How your phone number should start with your country code, as you can see, +234. And how your email address should be a combination of your name. So you can see kumi.aisha@gmail.com. Now I'll tell you guys an interesting story and why this place is very important. So if you are Yoruba, I don't know if it's obtainable in other tribes, but then I'm Yoruba, so I know this works. If you are Yoruba, you can have like 7 names. Your uncle will give you name, your auntie will give you name, your great-grandmother, your great-grandfather, your mother-in-law, your father-in-law. If you can connect, just say I can connect inside the chat box. So you can have about 7 names. Now, that's not bad, right? It becomes dangerous when the combination of the names that make up your email It's totally different from the names that is on your CV. Someone even has 15 names. That's nice. Okay. I like to meet the person that has 15 names though. So look at this example. Say your name is Bolanle Ajetomobi, right? But you also have Ayola Ifeoma Akitude as your name. So because everywhere you go, you use Bolanle Ajetomobi, you use that on your CV. But while you are doing your email, when you are trying to create your email or Gmail, as the case may be, maybe Bolanle Ajetomobi was taken. So you pick two other names, maybe Ayola Ifeoma. So the name on your CV is Bolanle Ajetomobi, but your email address is ayolaifeoma@gmail.com. That is confusing, yes or yes? Because the recruiter will start wondering, who is Ayola Ifeoma and who is Bolanle Ajetomobi? Do you understand? So it's very important that the names on your CV are I will take all questions at the end. I see someone asking questions. The names on your CV are the ones that, your email address is made up of. So practical, career objective. This part is not mandatory, honestly, but I like that people have career objective. Why? It shows the recruiter who you are, what you've done, and what you are looking to do. I'll say that again. A career objective shows the recruiter who you are, what you've done, and what you're looking to do. So if you look at this career objective, for example, it says a penultimate economics student, I jumped the student, with keen interest in investment research, portfolio management, investment banking. If you're not a finance person, don't bother about what all those things mean. Seeking to work with any reputable organization where I can add immense value with my skills and abilities, right? So from this career objective, I know that this person is an economics student. And even though he's an economics student or she's an economics student, she's not looking to do audits. She's not looking to do tax. What she's looking to do is investment research, investment banking, and portfolio management. That is specific. So if I see an audit role, I'm not referring to this kind of person. Or maybe this particular CV was written for this kind of job. Remember where I said your CV must be job specific? Because as an economic student, you can also remove all this investment research, portfolio management, investment banking, and easily put audit and tax, and then use it to apply for an audit role. So that's another advantage that career objective does on a CV. It helps you apply to specific roles because you are able to indicate your specific interest in the career objective. Now, education. There's a place that I taught how to write, how to write CVs, and they were asking me, why should education, what's the function of education? Especially if you're on a bad grade, which is not a crime, by the way. If you're on a good grade, please maintain it by all means. Also, finish with a very strong score of first class. It's a beautiful thing, right? But if you're here and, maybe you're in your finals already and you're in second class, maybe lower division or something like that, it's not the end of the world. Now, what's the importance of education? It helps the recruiter connect with the kind of educational experience that you have. And I will explain. If you study English language in Obafemi, sorry, I'm using you. If you studied English language in Obafemi University, for example, you probably know as much as someone who studied mass communications in UI. I am not even bragging, because there is an aspect of English language in OAU where everything they do is mass comm. Journalism, written journalism, content creation, script writing, and every other module you can find other mass communications. Yet, the course is English language. So if you do not indicate that you studied all these things in school or you've taken courses in all these things, so if you do not indicate that you've taken these courses, that aligns with the interest that you are applying to, then the recruiter will not have an understanding of the things you've done. For example, this sample here, I said, I've taken courses in monetary economics, macroeconomics, international relations, and then other related courses. I also indicated that I've coordinated the team that presented a term paper the term paper on interest rates and macroeconomic, whatever that is. But the whole idea is, some of us, we do a lot of things in school that we think don't matter. Your lecturer comes and say, you should prepare something. You will do a 15 minutes presentation and you just prepare it. You go and prepare it. that process is a big learning process that you can put on your CV. If you worked, if you did not hide, if you did not, you are not a bench warmer in the group, if you actively participated or actively contributed, right? So that's the essence of education. Now, this is a disclaimer. People have asked me this a lot of time, and it's my personal opinion. If you did not do anything exceptional in secondary school, just put your secondary school there and put senior school certificate examination. There's no need to tell story. By the way, primary school is a no-no, except you're applying to a government job. I hope that there's nobody that is working in the government or whose parent is working in the government. I don't know why they asked for that anyway. But yeah, in the corporate space, I don't care about what primary school you attended. And at some point, you would even have to remove your secondary school. But for now, because you're an undergraduate, if you did amazing things in secondary school, please put it. So for example, this candidate, Bukumi, was the first runner-up of cowbell mathematics competition in our school. How many of us participated in cowbell mathematics competition? Olympiad. I think Olympiad is different from cowbell competition, yeah. So if you did something like that, you did cowbell competition, hey, Bethel Clement, so yeah, you know the people that are shining. So, cowbell competition, you did Olympiad, you did spelling bee, one day in Lagos, all those kind of things. By all means, put it. If you are the head girl, you are the head boy, class prefect, people that attended FGG. Yes, spelling bees, yes, put it. You headed Jets Club, you headed Art Club, those exciting things. You coordinated Cultural Day. I remember that. That's why I've never put it on my CV before. I actually coordinated Cultural Day in my school. Am I getting feedback or is someone off mute? Please mute. Great, thank you. So if you had exciting, what I'm saying is, if you did exciting things in school, please put it. If not, just put senior school certificate examination, 5 credits, 6 credits at the front. That's all. Okay, let's take a pause here, right? So we've gone through headings, we've gone through education. I've highlighted why it's important that you put your education on your CV and the value that having education on your CV adds to your CV. Now, work experience. This place is dicey because I know some of us have not worked anywhere, some of us have not interned anywhere, but we are all Cowrywise Campus Ambassadors. That's why I put it there.
Of my enemies before the planet.
Okay, great. So I put it there that this person has interned at Afro Invest. If you've interned anywhere, please drop a message in the chat box. Let me see so that I will know at least I have some representation in the populace. If you've interned any company at all, just put it in the chat box. So as a research intern, oh nice, you can put Chetachi, KPMG. So you can put the company that I interned with too. So it's very important that you highlight the things that you did, Okay, someone interned as a researcher a priori. Nice. Oh, Root Hub, I see. That's exciting. List the things that you did as an intern, right? I hope that you not go and buy amala or buy rice. See how you're bragging. I have eaten Cowrywise. Okay. We see you. We see you. It is very important. I am saying this, even if you've not interned before, I know that those of you, after this session, by the time you do this masterclass, you start applying for internships. In Jesus' name, amen. So when you're applying for internships, when you are interning, it is very important that you document the things that you do. Can someone say document? Document the things that you do, because it's very easy for it to slip out of your mind. You might even forget, the internship might stress you so much that you might not take note of the things that you've done. So document the things that you did, right? This person carried out in-depth research and wrote informed articles on macroeconomic issues in the country, right? The person wrote, hey, God, see typo. The person wrote market summary updates and provide insight to investors. The whole idea is that, yeah, even for online internships, document the things that you did. Cowrywise Campus Ambassador, you might not know what you guys are doing. So I said to write 1 or 2 things that you guys are doing that you might not know. Every time we drop a blog post or we share a YouTube video or we say, oh, guys, help us distribute this. This is what you guys are doing. Yeah, distributing finance-centric content to a lot of people. And that should be on your CV. You should be able to brag about it, right? And you also solve people's problems, either you like it or not, because people come and send you a DM. So how do I use saving circle? So how do I do this? I want to save this. How will I get my interest? And then you guys provide solutions. So you guys are solutions provider. You should be proud of yourself. If you are not proud of yourself before now, you should be very proud of yourself. So say I documented it on your CV. Some of you will collaborate with ISEC in your school, with JCI, with Student Finance Club. They will invite you. So, I mean, someone got invited to speak at his church, his fellowship last Sunday. What you are doing is spreading the tidings of financial literacy. I don't want to put gospel there, but yeah. So you're educating people about financial literacy, and that is a very good thing to write on your CV. Yes, you are solution oriented. That's the way to go. Now, this last part, if Michael was taking this session, Michael will spend like 2 hours talking on this last part. Leadership and volunteer experiences. Guys, if you are not in your final year, I have not joined a club before, a social club or something, you should join. Join ISEC, join ACI, JCI, join Enactors. Every time Razak tells a story or tell the story of Cowrywise, there's no way it doesn't make reference to SIVE, Students in Enterprise, which is now Enactors, right? Joining these organizations are not just for CV purposes, are good for you. They enhance your collaboration abilities, teamwork, leadership, and things like that. Yes, so this person was vice president to, oh, I see a member of Enactors, nice, of ISEC, and these are the things she did. You know, she spearheaded the act, okay, is present, so you can say, spearhead the activities of different subunits in the team, ensure, yes, for non-profits too, by all means, write it. Ensure each member's function optimally. Michael, please throw. Yeah, I know that all this JCI ISEC, they used to do one campaign. If it's not anti-genital mutilation campaign, it is make the street clean campaign. So if you've done a campaign, feel free to put it on your CV. Now, remember there was a point on my slide where I was saying, measure your things in metrics and impact. If we look at every point I was making, I was either adding metrics or adding impact. For example, yeah, I said facilitated the Don't Litter campaign, which had over 500 students in attendance. You can facilitate a campaign and just 2 people came, right? It doesn't diminish the impact of the campaign. But when you facilitated a program or a campaign or a movement that had 500 people, that sends a big message to the recruiter. That shows that you're a leader. That shows that you can get things done. That shows that you can manage a lot of people. And those things are what stand out different candidates. Those are the things that get candidates called for interviews. So if you've applied to Cowrywise now and you are not called, you know, you go and look at your CV. You've already seen the things that you did wrong. Now, skills and abilities, because I want to take questions here, 439. Personally, you won't see this on my CV, but School of Thought and a couple of recruiters have said, do you know what? It's important to highlight your skills. Now, you can have this in different formats. For example, you can have soft skills, put a column and put, you know, list all your soft skills, then hard skills, put a column, list all your hard skills. So hard skills are like technical functional skills, and soft skills are, of course, people-related intangible skills. For example, communication skills, interpersonal skills, leadership skills, those are soft skills. Usage of Microsoft packages. I know we have a couple of good designers. You guys are doing well, by the way, well done. You know, you can use Adobe, you can use Figma, you can use Canva, you write codes. Those are hard skills. Then conclusively, I always like this. It's always good to end on a lighter note, and you should write about your hobbies. Now, people write about their hobbies casually, so I'm going to share 1 or 2 stories. There was someone, this person is my acquaintance. He went to interview as an undergraduate. He went to interview with a consulting company. This my friend, his name is David McCoy, for those that are like OAU people. He went to interview with this very nice law firm in Lagos. You know, I mean, he was the tax law president as a then. He's a very brilliant guy. His CV was good looking and everything. You know, he had bamboozled them. We call it passport, you know, he had bamboozled them with big English and everything. And he was almost done. He was doing well. And someone just saw his hobbies. I had written on the CV that he loves music, classical music, and he can play musical instruments. Lo and behold, my people, inside the interview room, there was a keyboard that I did not know. Was it a keyboard or an organ? So they said, oh, you listed playing musical instruments on your CV. I mean, nobody has ever asked him that kind of question before. So he said, yes. I said, oh, the interviewer said, which instrument do you play? He said, the keyboard and the guitar. So like, oh, great, you play the keyboard very well. Oh, they talked about some classicals, Mozart, Beethoven. Fantastic. That's how they opened there was a drip on the organ, of course. So the way the organ was, when you entered the room, you don't even know that it was an organ that was there. That's how they removed the drip. My guy said he was shocked. Lo and behold, he was asked to play organ inside the interview. He played the organ fantastically well. But I was just imagining what would have happened if he could not play the organ, right? Another story, this one ended, okay, don't let me tell you how it ended. There was a time that I was in a panel interview where there was this guy that listed, someone is laughing already. There was this guy that listed traveling as part of his hobbies. I don't even know why this guy asked that question, because it's not like, when I mean this guy, I mean like the HR guy, his name is Dolapo. I don't know why Dolapo asked that question, because he's not a person that will ask that kind of question. But he just said, oh, you listed traveling as part of your hobbies. And the candidate said yes. He said, where have you traveled to? He said, I used to go to Ibadan and if it once in a while. Like, we were so disappointed. We were heartbroken. I personally, at that point, if I could slap the guy, I probably would have slapped the guy. Because why? Why? Why would you do that to yourself? Even if all you've done, there's a way you can tell a story. You can say, oh, I've traveled a couple of Southwestern states a couple of times, or maybe I've traveled Southwestern states a couple of times, and I plan to visit other states in Nigeria. How will you just say you've traveled Ife and Ibadan, you put traveling as your hobby? So you guys have gotten the lessons, right? The summary is that put only the things that you can vouch for. I remember there was an interview that I did. I got the job, by the way. The first question, my people, the first question that the interviewer asked me was, so you love reading. What are the last 2 books you read? And I told her, lo and behold, she went to Google and confirmed the name and the author. I don't know what would have happened if I had lied. I mean, everybody around me know that I love reading. But if I had maybe lied about the title of the book or about the author, she literally Googled the book. And that's how the conversation even started, because one of the books was written by an ex-GE chairman, and I was interviewing with General Electric. So I hope that, Michael, can you go to my slide? I want to be sure that I didn't miss out anything.
All right, hold on a second.
Yeah, thanks. But how has it been so, guys? Are you learning? Are you learning new things? Are there new things that I stood out for you today? Let me know in the chat box. Great. So you could just go to go to the 4th slide. Let me see. 4th slide, number 4. I will take questions. Yeah, so let me just quickly rush through this. So sell yourself fully, use winning words. If you saw a lot of collaborated, organized, spearheaded, use active words, very important. I like what the job description says. JD means job description. So if there are some jobs, I don't think that is applicable to undergrads, but for future purposes, if there are jobs that says exactly this thing, say, oh, people with Microsoft, knowledge of Microsoft package, indicate it on your CV that you can. People that can build financial models using Microsoft Excel, indicate it on your CV. Oh, we are looking for graphic designer with a knowledge of Figma. For example, at Cowrywise, we don't use, I don't know if the guys use Adobe or not, but I know the most universal template we use at Cowrywise is Figma. So if you're badass in Adobe and you can use any other thing and you can't use Figma, that would be a big challenge. So some job descriptions highlight specific things they want. If you have those skills, ensure that they are highlighted on your CV. That's how you ace the ATS. Reread and ask a friend to proofread. If you see the sample, and I intentionally did that, you will notice 1 or 2 typos, right? Otherwise, I don't know if you could notice them or not. And they were easily pickable. Although I did my draft in 20 minutes. So I went to that CV that you saw. I just wrote it like 20 minutes ago. But it's very important that you reread, and you ask someone to proofread. Like I said, also, skills and hobbies are not decoration. I already made references to that. Don't sell yourself short. Don't sell yourself short. Say that like 5 times. Don't sell yourself short. The last slide, Michael, let me see. What's there? Oh, okay, so this cover letter. So should I just run through cover letter and take all the questions together?
Yeah, I think that works, Fitz.
Okay, guys. So most times when I teach CV and cover letters, I don't spend a lot of time on cover letters because it's almost the same principle, except that in cover letters, you have the room to explain yourself fully, unlike in CV where everything you are explaining is bullet points, right? And that's why I said, think of it as ice cream toppings. If you send your CV without the cover letter, it doesn't mean that the HR will not look at your application, right? Just like the way if you buy ice cream and you don't add topping, nothing spoil. You can enjoy your ice cream like that. But adding toppings, make it more appealing, even make it more aesthetically nice. Then I don't know if it has some, maybe there are guys in nutrition or biochemistry or nursing that can tell us the additional advantage of having toppings. I don't know. But it makes it look nice, Sasha. I know that one. So think of your cover letter as ice cream toppings that makes your application look nicer. What should you do? Tell an exciting story. Tell the story of how you led Student Finance Club to do something. Tell the story of your CFA Ethics Challenge. Tell the story of how you became Cowrywise Campus Ambassador. Tell an exciting story. The second thing you should do is to speak directly to the need of the companies that your skills can meet. I don't know if it's official or unofficial to share this. One of the interns with us right now, I don't know if she's on the call or not, during her interview, she was like, I can't do this, but I can do this. And I know if I do more of this, you guys will get more followers. And that stood out for me during her interview. She could not do a lot of things that we do at Cowrywise, but there was something she could do that we actually needed someone that could do those things at Cowrywise. And that was like the final reason why we said, let's pick this person. And she's doing it extremely well right now. So if there is a company, you've gone to their blog, you see that all the articles are long and boring, and you can write very nice articles, indicate it in your cover letter. You've gone to this landing page and you see that their copy is nice, but their design is substandard, and you can do creative designs. Send it in the cover letter, attach your portfolio, let them see your fine designs on Behance or whatever portfolio you are using. Speak directly. That's why I broadened directly. Speak directly to the need of the company because they've seen your CV already. So your cover letter should be like that extra toppings, convincing them to pick you. Make reference to their core values, their products, and recent achievements. So if, for example, they won an award recently, put it there. Oh, I know that you were nominated or you won the African Top Challenge brand recently, and I would love to identify myself with an award-winning brand like this. Hype them. Let their heads swirl. Let them feel like speaking with you. If you have gone to their website and you've seen a couple of their core values, growth and development, collaboration, talk about the place that you collaborated to get things done and indicate that I know that one of your core values is collaboration. And I have continuously demonstrated this in XYZ. End on an anticipatory note. Let them know that you're waiting for them. You want them to call you, right? End with something light, something that is, we call it call to action. Something that an HR will read. It's not like me that I'm very busy, but read. I'm like, okay, Michael, please call this person. I want to speak with the person. So I sent this when I wanted to work with one of the big four was it last year or 2019? This was 2019. I think my cover letter is better now. Yes, so I'm just going to read through and highlight a couple of things. I started by telling my story. I'm a human resource professional. I manage people and pilot processes that enhance productivity. Now, I went to talk about the things that I've done, right? I've done payroll, I've managed talent, I've done recruitment and selection, I've done onboarding. Then I highlighted, I did not just tell them all these things that I've done. I said every engagement I have had in the HR space thus far has brought excellent, impactful, and quantifiable results as shown in my CV attached alongside. Remember where I said cover letter is a toppings. So if there is no ice cream, then there's no need to get toppings. Or can you go and buy toppings and Costa? Can you go to Costa and say you want to buy toppings? They'll probably look at you and say you should go to Yaba left, right? So that means your CV must be very good before you think about the cover letter. Then, I highlighted some of the things I've achieved. The place where I'm interested in is the penultimate paragraph. So look at the penultimate paragraph. I said, I was quite excited to see that your purpose is to build trust in the society and solve important problems. So I'd gone to their website and they had something like maybe trust in society, solve problems, provide lasting solution. And I put it there, and I said, being a member of the team that achieved this feat would be a great delight. Now look at the call to action that I was talking about. I am quite certain that working with your company will be another exciting and mutually beneficial experience. And I look forward to positive response from you. So I'm saying you people don't hear me. It doesn't mean that they've not even heard me. Although I think that PwC replied me. But I'm just saying that they should not hear me. So that's really it. Yours might not be this deep. You don't have to have all this big English. I'm used to big English. My people at Cowrywise are tired of me. But the whole idea is, number one, tell your story. Everything I did from paragraph 1 to paragraph 3 was telling my story. I even told them that I was ranked as top 25 Nigerians to follow on LinkedIn. So if people are about to hire a superstar, it's better don't miss out on me, right? I talked about my professional course that I've taken. So if you are writing CFA, you're writing ICANN, you're writing CITN, CIS, whatever professional exam you are writing, put it on your cover letter. You can also put it on your CV, by the way. I sell 1 or 2 skills that you possess and then end on a lighter note. Again, if there is anything I want you to remember, is that your CV is you selling your best self. So anything less than your best self is not worth selling. And that's the honest truth. There are a couple of other things that I want to say, but I think I will pause now and take questions, if that's fine. Thank you very much.
Hello, guys. Thank you very much, Faith. So if you have any questions, you can drop your questions in the chat box so we can pick it up from there. Does that work for everyone? I think so. Hi, Faith. There are a couple of questions in the chat box
already, right? So maybe I should stroll up. What's the difference between a CV and a resume? I think I answered that already. They are the same thing. They are just called different things in different geographical locations. The hobby part, I never feel adding your hobby could be. What about references? So yes, this reference is very dicey, and I do not have an ultimate opinion about it. There are things I have ultimate opinion about, like using the right kind of mail. I think that if an application do not ask for a reference, there's no need to add a reference, and it's because I've heard bad stories about people who use reference and the reference shank them using the lingo of 2021. So if an application does not directly ask for a reference, and your reference is not Dangote or DJ Copy or Femi Otedela, there's no need to create a reference. Because think about it. Remember where we said your CV is you selling your best self. If for example, if Razak Ahmed is your reference and you're applying to a role at CFA, they'll probably consider you because Razak Ahmed is a very known name in the CFA society in Nigeria and beyond, of course. So if someone like that, then you can put Razak Ahmed, of course, with his permission. But if it's not something exceptional, I see some CVs and I see some reference, and in my head, I'm like, you should not have even put this reference, right? So if they do not specifically ask for a reference, I don't have reference on my CVs. And twice I've used references. I called the people if I use them, of course, and it was because the application specifically asked for a reference. So I'm not exactly for reference. Someone asked a very interesting question. I'm going to read it out. Where is it? I know you are the one that drafted the sample CV, but question, as an HR person, will you consider search for the role? Yes, I would. And I can go back to the CV and explain why. The person is applying for an investment banking role or an investment research role, and the person has indicated first in his career objective or a career objective. Second, the person has entered with Meristem or Afro Invest, the company I put there. Third, the person has some leadership skills. The person had worked with JCI. Fourth, the person is affiliated with a finance association, Cowrywise, and she has done finance-related things. So yes, definitely, I would pick the person. The question is, would you pick the person? Do we all agree? Would we have picked the person?
Yeah, I think I would too. Faith, there's a question here. Say, what's the difference between a CV and a cover letter? I think you've covered on that already.
Yeah, so maybe I should share both sample CV and sample cover letter so they know the difference. I've heard about not giving an exact address on your CV, correct? Probably for security purpose. What do I think of it? It is not wrong, right? If you do not have to write your exact address, If the essence of address is to, some recruiters consider it, even occasionally, very occasionally, as Cowrywise, we do consider it. But some pre-COVID, pre-2020, some recruiters consider this when hiring. They want to be sure that you won't be stuck in Lagos traffic. But then this is 2021, flexi time is becoming the norm and things like that. But yeah, if you do not feel safe, just indicate your area. So Magodo, Lagos, Isheri, Lagos, Bodija, Ibadan, Akoko, Ondo, Apulioja, Ife, things like that.
All right. The question here says, does the CV have to be one page?
Very interesting question. That's a very, very interesting question. No, your CV doesn't have to be one page. Now, I know that's probably against a lot of things that you guys have heard. What is important is that whatever is on your CV is captivating enough to convince the recruiter. So, for instance, I've made 4-page CV 1 page before, and I've made 1-page CV 2 pages before. 2 things you should note, and this was one of the things I wanted to mention when I was teaching, then I decided to hold back on. Number one, don't repeat things, and I will explain what I mean. Some of us are award-winning people. Yeah, you've gone for a lot of agile law students here. Let me help you people. If you're a law student here, please indicate. So I'm going to use my school, the school I graduated from. If you're an OAU student and you're in law, say 400 level, or even from 300 level, in law, in OAU, you probably have participated in like 10 competitions. You've won a lot of awards. You do not need to repeat these things. What do I mean? If you've won, you were first runner-up, tax club, something. Then the following year, you won tax club, something. You do not have to include the first runner-up. Because remember that what you are doing is telling your best self. So if you won at something, you don't have to indicate that you are second runner-up or first runner-up. Do you understand? Some of us, we write conferences that we attended. We now put IS 1.0, IS 2.0, IS 3.0, IS 4.0. No, it's not necessary. Because the whole essence of attending and maybe an accounting summit is to show that maybe you are participatory, or you are keeping up to standard of the accounting world, etc. So do not repeat things. That saves a lot of time. Also, format your CV very well. If you see the sample I shared, even though it was rushed, it was well formatted. So really, I don't have anything against this CV that is 2-page, as long as the content makes sense. Just ensure that you are not writing things that are superfluous. That's what I would say. Things that are necessary. Yeah.
Question here that says, what if I oversell myself and that makes the HR feel I am boastful?
You just said it, oversell yourself. There's no need to oversell yourself. Never mention things that you cannot do. There are some things in HR that, despite my experience, I can't do, and you will not see it on my CV. I've not, for example, a very good one is there's something called org design in HR. I've not done it before. And unless I take a course in doing organization design, you won't see it on my CV until I'm sure that I'm competent in organization design, right? I've done a Nigerian payroll before, for example. I've not done a global company payroll before, so I cannot put it on my CV. So do not oversell yourself. That's the thing. If there are things you've done, even if this recruiter feel you are boastful, all you have to do is to prove that you've done them, right? I remember there was one company that I even went to catch crews with that company itself. I interviewed with this company and they were like, oh, you just graduated this year. How come you have done so much of this? I literally schooled them in that interview, and I knew I was not going to accept the job in any way. I schooled them, like serious schooling, because I didn't see any reason why they should talk down on me because I had just 2 years experience, right? So if you have not done anything, don't put it there. Don't put the things that you have not done. Don't oversell yourself. But if you've done a lot of things, even if the recruiter is intimidated, all you have to do is to prove that you've done these things.
Thank you very much. There's a question here that says, what if I don't have any working experience? How do I compose a good cover letter?
So talk about things that you've done in your fellowship, in your mosque, in your faculty, in your department. You are class rep, you are course rep, you are assistant course rep. Exciting things. You've done something of value before. I'm very sure that everybody here has done something of value before. So tell the story of that valuable thing you've done.
All right. Thank you very much. It says there's another question here from Ife. Ife is asking, if you're studying a course not related to the job you intend to do, how do you sell yourself?
That's where career objective comes in. So you can easily say, I'm a student of chemistry with keen interest in finance. I am presently taking ICANN. So if I see that in your career objective, you are studying chemistry, that's fine. But what you want to do is finance, and you're already taking ICANN. I'm very happy, right? So those are one of the advantages of actually having career objective. And if you are studying a course and that's not the course you want to do, you're interested in doing something else, it's better get doing that something else. Take courses in it, attend workshops on it, etc., etc., such that you're able to highlight those things that you've done in that other path on your CV.
Thank you very much, Faith. So I want to ask this question because I feel like it's from a pain point. It's a pain point to Israel Innocent. Israel is asking, thank you so much. Please, why is it that we don't get emails even if our job hunting is not successful? Why can't we be told this is the area you did not meet up?
My dear, Mabinu. Sorry, I don't know if you understand Yoruba. It's not your fault, it's our own fault. We are busy. That's why. So a couple of complaints, have automatic, and someone suggested that for Cowrywise a while ago. I said no. Even if it take me 2 weeks, I'm not going to. Maybe we'll get there. Maybe when we become like 100 or 200. But right now that we have the abilities to, I'm going to reply. We are going to reply everyone that applies. Tell them they're not qualified. Tell them we don't have an opening right now. People are extremely busy. Even for those that have automated, recruiting processes that use different softwares, they are still busy. Yeah. So that's why nobody hates you. That's one thing you should know. No HR hates you. No recruiter hates you. Because people are genuinely busy, honestly.
Thank you very much, Faith. Yeah, I think I would like to chip in here in a sense that Faith is actually right when it says people are busy. Imagine you apply to a role and you apply with 500 other people, and that's not even an exaggeration. So, and the company takes in only 10 people. So they have 490 people to respond to and to tell them that they are sorry that they don't fit. So it's almost impossible for them to start giving 490 people reasons why they don't make it. They get why they don't they don't make the requirements for the job. You understand? That's going to take like months, literally, unless the person wants to abandon all the work they are meant to do and just focus on replying rejections. So most of the time, you see companies just do, we're sorry you don't fit for this role, or they just give a general message and send out to everyone. So most of the time, when you apply for a job, don't expect a personalized response unless the company promises such. And if you get one, then kudos to you. So there's a question here from Dorcas. Dorcas is asking, is it necessary to add age to my CV?
No, it's not. I don't advise it.
All right, thank you, Faith. Wisdom Chap Jumbo is asking, hi, Faith, you put education first before experience on that CV. Any reason why?
No, anything after your headings, anything can come next. I forgot. I actually put education because I wanted to put the person's what's the English? Class of grade class. That skipped my mind. Yeah, so if what is strong on your CV is your education, put it there. If you're a first class or a second class upper, if you are, there are a second class upper and there is second class upper. If you're a second class upper that you're super proud of, put it there, right? No, there's no reason. And if you are on a 2-2 or you have even given up on your CGPA, but what is exciting about you is really, for some people, what is exciting about them is their volunteer experience. They volunteer with like 10 notable organizations. They stopped with. When Glo came to their school, they were the one. When First Bank came to their school, they were the one. When MTN came, they were the one. If those are the exciting things, again, you are selling your best self. So you want the recruiter to sell the best part of you first. So after your heading, every other thing is subjective. There is no exact arrangement of how things should come across.
Thank
Just
you very
ensure
much.
you're selling your best self.
I don't know why Ogochuku is asking this question, but he's asking, is it necessary to add pictures on CV?
No, except you're a model.
All right, yeah, that works. Okay, so, I think we're good. Okay, OPC is asking, what if what you study is very different from the role you're applying for because you want to explore a new space? How will you do the unrelated experience, talking about tailoring your CV? Or should you exclude your previous unrelated experience?
Yes, exclude the previous unrelated one, except their transferable skills. So for example, for a while, I put that I entered with Unilever on my CV and I entered with Meristem for a while. I don't think that there's still Unilever. So I put Unilever there because Unilever was a multinational and the name Unilever is an household name. And then I put Meristem there. Unknowingly, I entered at Unilever before I entered at Meristem. So it was very hard to remove one and not remove the other. So now I think both of them are even gone because now I have General Electric and then of course I have Cowrywise, which is the big name. Yeah, I can
Thank you
brag.
very much, Faith.
So
Popola Olua is asking, is it necessary to add CGPA?
if you're 4.5 and above, add it.
All right.
If you're 4.0 and above, add it. Or if there's some, I don't know if you guys have seen these applications where they say something like you must be at least 60% of your CGPA. You must be at least 70% of your CGPA. If it's that kind of application, you can add it just to indicate that. So for example, you can be on a second class upper and you are not 70% of your CGPA, or you might not even be 60%, right? And you can be on a second class upper also and you are 70%, depending on the kind of grade your school is using. For example, most schools use 5, but I know there is you right now who uses a 7 point, and I don't exactly know how to measure it. So if it's that kind of scenario, put your CGPA, and if your CGPA is well above, put it. Outside that, please don't shoot yourself in the leg.
Okay, so there's a question, very interesting question here from OPT. OPT is asking, does freelancing on places like Upwork count as experience?
Except you're applying for a content writing job. If you are, everybody is familiar with the fact that Upwork is an alternative workspace for content writers.
All right. I also think if you're applying to jobs like design, actually, once you've worked, it counts as job experience, unless you have something better. You understand? So, for example, you got your first design job on Upwork and you worked at a particular company in the US, but you worked on a freelance basis on contract. It counts as experience, even though the company is not there on the streets in Lagos. It counts as experience, unless you have something better. Okay, so I think last question is from Dorcas Anaja. Dorcas is asking, please, what is the difference between career objective and profile? I ask this because you see in some CVs profile instead of career objective, which is most preferred.
Very smart. Dorcas, you asked a very smart question. They are similar. I used career objective because you're an undergraduate. Right now, you should have an objective and not exactly a profile yet. When you see people with 4 years, 5 years experience, they can have a profile. Because a profile is like, this is an array of the things I've done across these spaces.
All right. I think that's the last question from my side. So if there's any other question, okay, is it compulsory we add our LinkedIn profile to our CV?
If it is very active, don't add a LinkedIn profile that you have not posted in 90 days, please.
All right.
Maybe you have another masterclass on how to optimize LinkedIn. But yeah, if it's very active, if you're very active on LinkedIn.
Okay, thank you very much. So I think we're almost coming to the end of our masterclass, and I'm glad that we're able to have this very, very wonderful session, and even get to this point where everyone, a lot of us have asked questions and everything. That's very wonderful. So I'm just going to chip in a few things before we end this. So if you are a student or you're just a recent graduate and you're applying for a job, you might not have the big thing. You might not have the General Electric. You might not have the big job that you think, oh, if I put this on my CV, I might be qualified for this job. But you have things that seem small to you, but they count. So you have that departmental role that you pick. You have that church work that you did. You have that community engagement work that you did. Maybe you guys went for an outreach to a town, or you went to a village, or you distributed food to people in a particular society, and you're applying to a job role that is in a way related to that. There's a way you can craft a story. Writing CVs and writing cover letters is about storytelling. It's about who can tell the best stories. So that's why most of the time they say the most qualified person does not get the job. And it's not because HR people are just monsters. It's just because there's some people that they're not really qualified, but they're very good at telling their stories. So if I can tell a better story than you, I'm definitely going to get in. It doesn't matter whether you are more qualified than me or not. There are people that are very qualified for the particular job role that you're applying for, but they don't know how to write a good CV. They don't know how to write a good cover letter. And so they shortchange themselves, and in a way they miss out. So we're really grateful that Pete has come up here to explain to us in detail. By the end of this class now, I think everyone should just open their laptops or pick up their phones and start crafting their CV. And if it looks like, oh, how am I going to do this? I don't have a format. Just remind yourself of what we just watched now. Just start with maybe your profile or your career objective, then go to your education. then go to your experience, and then your skills if you're interested in that, and then you can wrap it up. And you can always understand that a CV is not a permanent document. So you can always update, you can always upgrade as you gain more experience, as you have more education to yourself, you can always upgrade. So you don't necessarily have to be worried that, oh, once I finish this CV, that is my permanent CV. There's no such thing as permanent CV. I'm sure that Faith is still updating the CV every single day. And even people that you are looking up to, the managers in those companies, they are updating their CVs every other day, every other month, every other year with the new achievements that they've made. So same thing goes for you. So thank you very much, everyone, for attending this masterclass. Shout out to every Cowrywise Campus Ambassador. Yeah. And if you want to maybe watch this again so you can put everything you've learned into practice, just go to YouTube and search for Cowrywise and subscribe to the channel so that when the recording goes live, you are going to definitely be one of the first people to see it. So just go to youtube.com, of course, and search for Cowrywise and subscribe to our channel. So thank you very much, everyone. I think that's all for today. So bye-bye, guys. Let's say a word of gratitude to Faith. Thank you very much, Faith, for coming around to
Thank you, guys.
Expand this to us. We are really very grateful for that. So everyone, thank you very much. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. Have a nice evening.